أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي آمين. Assalamu alaikum viewers and listeners, welcome back to our very third show of Youth Time. I am your host Shumail Chishti, and may I also introduce my other four co-hosts, Shahryar Chishti, Areeb Dar, Shahryar Dar. Assalamu alaikum to you all.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Now, we will be talking about nearly everything and anything related to science and current youth issues, but during the holy month of Ramzan, we'll be discussing topics revolving around Islam, some of which may overlap with science topics. And as for today, we'll be discussing the knowledge within Islam, and then a few scientific points behind what happens when we actually gain knowledge, what happens to our brain. So stay tuned. So before we start, I would like to play a very beautiful nasheed by Khalid Sadiq, The Moon.
They sang this song when you came to town. How I wish that you were still around. How I wish that you would show up at my door and I would cry to you and tell you how. Trying to follow what you left for me. I've been trying so carefully. I know the Lord, He is testing me to see if I am what I said to be. Follow your way and I know I'll be right. Day in and day out the rest of my life. People in my city, they're searching for light. Yeah, Nabi, I will be making it bright now. Till the day I die. So أيها المبعوث فينا جئت بالأمر المطاع جئت شرفت المدينة مرحبا يا خير
covered my eyes with my palms, afraid for my sight because of the beauty of his form. So I was scarcely able to look at him at all. The lights from his light are drowned in his light, and his face shines out like the sun and the moon in one.
Tell me, how can I live a life where I can be right by your side in heaven one day? I pray, cause sometimes I get down and my faith feels so low. I'm rolling around on my side of town just searching for hope. Oh, but one thing I know, I will hold on your rope. I know the progress feels slow, but it's the only way to grow. To all my brothers and my sisters, imagine a day if Rasulullah came to us, we would say, what do we say?
Alaikum, welcome back. So as I was saying before, that today we'll be discussing about knowledge and knowledge within Islam. So let me begin with Hadith Mubarakah. Hazrat Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, "Whoever is asked for knowledge and he conceals it, Allah will clothe him with a bridle of fire on the day of resurrection. Now, knowledge, what is this saying? So knowledge is not meant to be kept. There's no point of keeping knowledge, but by spreading knowledge, there is gain. And to justify that, how spreading knowledge can actually give you gain, here's another Hadith Mubarakah. and it was reported that Hazrat Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, when the human dies, his deeds come to an end except for three: ongoing charity, beneficial knowledge, or a righteous child who prays for him. So any knowledge that you have passed on which is beneficial after you've gone will add up to your good deeds, subhanAllah. So sharing knowledge has a lot of benefits, and that is one of the main benefits. But what reason, so this is my question, what reason as like human beings, what reason do we have to contain that knowledge? Why don't we want to share certain knowledge that we may have? For example, let's say it's about how to become successful, get the highest rank, become a billionaire. Why wouldn't we want to share that knowledge on how we actually did that? Any idea? As being humans, what is the reason?
One thing that does come to mind is where we see it nowadays as well. Sometimes what people might do is they'll get knowledge themselves. Whether they act on it or whether or not, that's a different issue. But they'd rather keep that for themselves. They want to succeed, or they want to do the best, but they don't want that for other people.
So there's that element of competitiveness.
Or you could call it a bit of greed. Or that I want this, if I give it to him, he's going to do it as well. He might do better than me instead. Well, that shouldn't be the case, but the reality now is that it does happen. Happens quite often.
So if a human being understands that if he shares this knowledge and after he's passed away, if that person continues to use that knowledge, that beneficial knowledge, and if he suddenly becomes a millionaire, can you imagine the amount of good deeds that person will have?
Exactly.
And plus, we don't know when our life will end. So let's say, for example, someone who's a millionaire and he shares that knowledge with someone else, and the next day, unfortunately, he passes away. You can just imagine the amount of benefits he will get after his death as well. So he will get utmost and good deeds. So here is another question that I have. What does Islam actually say about knowledge? What does Islam say about knowledge? So today we see many who strive to have a higher academic education and to work, which is, I'm not saying this is a totally bad thing. In fact, it's a very good thing. In fact, we should all be striving and working hard to higher education. But my other question is, do you think we should completely neglect school? So after learning how to read, write and speak, we should completely neglect school and focus more on the deen side rather than looking at stuff for our entertainment, our satisfaction. What's your opinion on this?
First of all, knowledge comes in very different types of forms. One may be you go to school, you learn certain knowledge. One, you go to madrasa, or you sit with scholars, you learn Islamic knowledge.
Yeah.
You're gaining knowledge. One, even if you don't go to school, if you work in a job or any day-to-day lives, just by positive and negative reinforcement as well, by seeing the consequences of people in public, someone's doing something right or someone's doing something wrong, by you seeing the response of the people to that action, that's also learning as well. So it's not just about school and studies, whether it be on the science topics, whether it be on Islam. Knowledge can come in very different types of forms. So that's the first thing.
Yeah.
And second of all, what actually is knowledge?
Yeah. So please explain what actually is.
So knowledge in Islam, we are told that knowledge is nur.
Nur.
And what is nur?
Light.
A light. Now let me put in perspective for you. You've got when you're born. So you've come into this world, yeah? And we know this world is a test for us. Then every test has an end goal.
Yeah.
Whether it's a practical test or written exam, you've got 100%, that's your goal. In this test, we have our goal. And to reach that goal, there's a path. Yeah? So for example, if you're going to go from Sheffield to London, there's a certain route that you take.
Yeah.
You go from Chesterfield, you go on the M1, wherever you go. So that path you take, there's going to be obstacles in the way
Yes.
from you reaching your end goal in this world. And this knowledge, this nur, this light gives you a sense of direction that you can see where you're going. Because the opposite of light is darkness.
Yeah.
And if you're on a path and it's dark, you won't be able to see where you're going.
Yeah.
So hence why you might be misled. You might hit into an obstacle. You might not recover from that. So similarly, when there's light, you can see, you can avoid those obstacles, and you can reach your end goal. And
But what sorry to interrupt, but what exactly is your end goal?
our end goal ideally should be that we mentioned in our previous shows as well, that on the Day of Judgment there's going to be 3 groups. One, the people of the left, which are the people of
the hell,
hell. And one is the people on the right, which are the people of
the heavens.
heavens. And then there's a third group, which is the Muqarrabeen.
Yeah.
And that is the group that we should aim, because any actions or anything that we do will be solely for the purpose of pleasing Rabbul Alameen and Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So by gaining knowledge, we can avoid these obstacles. And what are these obstacles? The waswasa of shaitan, the things inside of our hearts, jealousy, hatred, all these kind of things. We turn away from ignorance, and with this knowledge we can proceed to our path and avoid such major obstacles, which if we do hit into them, we might not be able to come back on the straight path.
Yes. So can you elaborate a little bit more, on what sort of knowledge are we actually wanting to obtain?
When it comes to Islam, Islam doesn't just restrict you on the learning about Islam. That is a fard upon us. Similarly, is a fard upon us to learn any type of knowledge, whether it be Islamic or whether it be from the science side, geography, physics, chemistry, biology, all these kind of things.
Yes.
Because all these, they help you reach the end goal anyway. As you see, all these studies, they're upon the creation of Rabbul Alameen. And how are we going to benefit and how are we going to appreciate what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the blessings He's given us, without studying of what He's actually given us?
Exactly.
In the Quran, there's many times where Rabbul Alameen takes oath by the sun, the moon, the mountains, the heavens, the skies. So it is fard upon us to learn as well.
Exactly.
In countless hadith shifts, we are encouraged, is a fard upon us to learn about knowledge from the cradle to the grave. And this knowledge is not just restricted on the deen, but is fard for both. And one aspect you get is that if you just learn the deen side, then you're at one level. You're 50% complete. You've got one side, but you haven't got the other side. Similarly, if you just learn about the dunya side, about the creation of Rabbul Alameen, you've only got half.
So having a good balance of both is really important.
That's the ideal thing. I'll elaborate more on our second part of the
Thank you very
program.
much for that. So now I will be playing a very beautiful nasheed by Muhammad Tariq, Muhammad Nabina.
اتحلى صفاته يا بخت اللي في ظله ماشي يشفع له في مماته محمد نبينا نور هدينا من مكة حبيبي نور سطع المدينة من صلى صلاته اتحلى صفاته يا السند للمسلمين يا حبيبي يا محمد يا ابن عبد الله تمت الرسالة تمام والحبيب مسك الختام طول حياتي وفي مماتي بدعى أصلي وراه حل بصفاته يا بخت اللي بظله ماشي
96.7 Link FM
मैं निकला वो टैक्सी लेके वो रास्ते पर एक मोड़ आया मैं उठे टैक्सी तोड़ आया मैं घर आया और बुढ़ी ने सानू बहुत रुलाया फिर मिस्टर कंपनसेटर नवी टैक्सी लेकर आया फिर मैं मुस्कुराया।
अगर आप मुस्कुराना चाहते हो तो मिस्टर कॉम्पनसेटर को अपना टैक्सी क्लेम दो और अभी मिस्टर कॉम्पनसेटर जो क्लेम के बादशाह हैं अप फ्रंट रेफरल देते हैं। हाँ आपने ठीक सुना, अप फ्रंट अपना 2000 पाउंड ले लो। कॉल करो 0114 3863 386। Terms and conditions apply.
I do.
And I do too.
We both agree that for weddings or any event, function, celebration or party, Premier Banqueting in Leeds is the venue to choose.
With spacious suites and all the latest facilities, a stage, sound and lighting,
full catering facilities, a commercial kitchen and friendly helpful staff.
And there's a bridal suite too.
Call Leeds 235 9290 to book your wedding today and you can have the hall for free for Mendy.
Or click on premierbanqueting-leeds.co.uk.
Affordable and luxurious.
We need your help. With the recent COVID-19 pandemic causing disruption in our everyday lives, millions of people around the world are missing out on essential food and medical supplies. We at Human Relief Foundation are in a unique position to reach some of the most vulnerable and needy families on the planet. We work all over the world in refugee camps and war zones, not just changing lives but saving them too. This Ramadan, help us do exactly that by calling 0121 448 0490. We're here, we're on the ground, and we're ready to save lives. Are you ready to join us?
If your boiler is over 7 years old, you could be entitled to upgrade to a new one for free with the government-backed YourFreeBoiler.com. Apply online, and if you're eligible, your brand new energy-efficient boiler could be fitted in just a few days. Visit YourFreeBoiler.com or call Ansar on Sheffield 258 4353. And you could be another one of the hundreds of happy claimants across South Yorkshire. And if you have rental properties or your own home doesn't have a boiler or central heating system, you might be entitled to a complete new one for free. Visit YourFreeBoiler.com or call 0114 258 4353.
For a reliable, professional and quality legal service, Wasco Brown Solicitors.
Remortgages,
conveyancing,
litigation,
immigration law,
personal injury,
Sharia compliant wills. Contact Solicitor Mohammed Nazir
on 0114 256 1560.
Wasco Brown Solicitors, 620 Attercliffe Road, Sheffield, or wascobrown.co.uk.
दोस्ता क्या दसा शादी ने खाना बहुत मिस करी रिया इस लॉकडाउन में की बड़ा डाडा ही तंग किता
PMC brings you Shadi Khana iftar meals this Ramadan. Order online at pmcshadikhana.co.uk. Pay and pick up from the safety of your vehicle. Strict safety precautions will be in place. Launching Sunday 10th May. Order now in advance. Set menu applies.
निकिया हुनी जा shadikhana.co.uk पर ऑर्डर कर.
Ramadan's blessed days are the perfect opportunity to reach out to suffering families in the Ummah with our charity. You can do so by donating to one of Ummah Welfare Trust's many projects which are helping our brothers and sisters in Africa, Asia and the Middle East. In these difficult days, charity is one of the best ways to earn Allah's pleasure and protection. To give yours, call 0800 4 0800 11 or visit uwt.org.
Sheffield's very own community radio station.
Link FM.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back, viewers and listeners. So previously we were just talking about what actually Islam tells us about knowledge. So Sharia Dad, can you please explain, just repeat your points very briefly again as to what you were saying? Because I remember you was talking about that we should have a good balance of both the deen and the dunya, having a good understanding of Rabbul Alameen's creations, but also about deen as well. So can you please elaborate a little bit more? Just repeat your points again.
Just going through briefly of what was mentioned before the break, that knowledge is a nur, is a light, and this light helps you establish the straight path onto your goal, which is the happiness, the seeking pleasure of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Rabbul Alameen. And this obstacle, if it is dark, there's no light to guide you, then you will hit into obstacles. Some obstacles will leave you wounded, some will not even let you come back onto the straight path. That's how severe they might be. So by gaining more knowledge, you gain more light, and the path become more clear for you. You can see the obstacles and you know which places there are and what to avoid. And when it comes to when the hadith sharifs and when Islam refers to knowledge, it's not just restricted upon learning about Islam, rather is about the creation of Rabbul Alameen and Islam as well, so a combination of both.
Thank you for that. So like, just adding on to your point, that we shouldn't really neglect like school studies completely, university studies. In fact, we should be putting our full effort in them. So just repeating and reinforcing what your point was, that why would it be wrong? So for example, I'm going off to study medicine. If I looked at it this way, that one angle is that I'm studying medicine to have a stable life, a really enjoyable life, etc. But then if I change that perspective a little and actually change it into that I'm actually studying to study about Rabbul Alameen's creation, one of the highest ranks. So can you tell me a little bit more? So
100%. So you've got, first of all, if we take medicine for example, you've got medicine which is research and study upon a person. And we as humans, we are made the best of creations. So out of this creation, you choose to study the best of creations. So it's all about intention. One thing might be that I'm studying medicine, I'm going to get a good job, I'm going to get paid well, I'll have nice cars, nice house, I'll be respected by a lot of people. First thing you should keep in mind is that a few things are already predetermined for us. This is our taqdeer, our destiny. Some things are already written, and amongst one is our wealth. So regardless how much effort you put in, whatever you may do, however much you're written, that's how much you're gonna get. Not a penny more, not a penny less. Second of all, if you keep that intention that you want to achieve the happiness of Rabbul Alameen, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, everything will come into it anyway. If your sole purpose is the ultimate goal, you'll get a good job, you'll get respect already, and all these things already come. But if you limit yourself to one of these goals, for example, I want a salary 50,000 a year, 100,000 a year, I want a certain amount. Once you achieve that, that's it, you're finished. Once you want respect amongst people, if you get that, you stop there. But that happiness of Rabbul Alameen and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that is throughout your life. So that's what we should be aiming for.
Thank you very much for that. So like, as I was saying, that we as human beings are one of the highest rank in terms of creations, and going on to studying medicine, I'm actually studying about one of the highest ranks of creations, and this is what my focus should be, that I am studying about one of Rabbul Alameen's creations. And like it said in other scientists, other medics and doctors out there, that they don't really know much of the human body yet. And the fact that we only know 20% of the human body just shows how the rest 80% we've still yet to discover and still understand more about Rabbul Alameen's creations and how detailed it is. So for example, let's say we've got an apple. People have done PhDs on just one piece of fruit. There's so much detail in just one piece of Rabbul Alameen's creation, yet so little for us. We see an apple in Tesco, we buy it, not much goes on inside our head, but then other people have done PhDs on this. They really understand about the chemical chemical composition inside of the apple. So that's one thing that we've also got to do as well. That
And another thing is not just medicine as well. Wherever you look in different aspects, it's not just for medicine students. If you go into geography, you're learning about the creation of Rabbul Alameen, the mountains, volcanoes, natural disasters,
space, astrophysics, stars. So there's behind everything.
Everything, there's a. It just has to be the main intention, and inshallah we'll reach our goal no matter what we do.
So there's this dua from Surah Taha, ayat number 114, Rabbi Zidni Ilma. What does this dua mean? And do you guys have any idea as to what Rabbi Zidni Ilma means? So basically, this dua was revealed by Rabbul Alameen to Hazrat Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam, and the translation of this is, "My Lord, increase me in knowledge." So this just goes beyond IQ or asking Rabbul Alameen for personal growth, and this could include knowledge and growth spiritually, intellectually, or even financially as well. So when does one actually read Rabbi Zidni Ilma? So when you are willing to learn or wanting to find out more about something, or just before you start just studying at school or university, you want to read this dua, Rabbi Zidni Ilma, "My Lord, increase me in knowledge." And that way Rabbul Alameen will not just give you what you wanted to know, but actually more than what you actually
want to know. And similarly, this should be recited throughout the day, throughout your life, on a regular basis. Because it's not just before university, not just before seeking knowledge, but rather, in fact, as I mentioned before as well, when you go out into the world as well, you're still gaining knowledge from different people.
And there shouldn't be an age factor for this, that only school students should use this or children should use this. Can you just tell me when Hazrat Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was given prophethood? Any idea of the age?
40, when they were 40 years old.
40. So the fact that this was revealed at the age of 40 to Hazrat Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam just means that this isn't just for children, this is for all mankind, all human beings,
100%.
all different ages.
Because there will never be a time where we can say we've learned everything.
Exactly.
When in Arabic, a student, they're referred to as a talib al-ilm, a seeker of knowledge, a student of knowledge. So you can never really truly say that I've learned everything.
Yeah.
I'm learned. Because throughout your life, no matter whether you're young, you're old, whether you reach 100 years old, whatever, there's still some things that you don't know.
Yeah.
Hence why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentions in the Hadith Sharif that seek knowledge from the cradle to the grave.
Yes. So just repeat your points once again. So just very briefly repeat your points about how the Hadith Mubarakah you just mentioned, about going from the grave to the cradle.
That just elaborates on the fact that no matter how young or old you are, it's seeking knowledge is not just limited for a certain age group or something. When you get the cradle, that includes the young people, and when it comes to the grave, no matter how old you are, and obviously all that gap in between as well. So it's upon every single person.
Yes. So thank you for that. So when we talk about ilm, we want to be thinking about knowledge. So the closest translation to ilm is it Arabic, ilm, the word?
Ilm, yeah.
So the closest translation is knowledge. Now, why knowledge is important? Why is it important? So this is my analogy here. So knowledge is like rain. So just tell me what happens when it rains outside. Usually it rains quite a lot in the UK, but when it does rain, what actually happens outside? So there's dirt, dust outside, there are plants outside. What actually happens? What does the rain actually do to all this dirt and dust and the plants outside and maybe the animals? Any idea what actually happens?
The benefit from the rain.
The benefits from the rain. So what the rain actually does is removes the dirt, it removes the dust. It's a blessing. Rain is actually a blessing, and it also allows plants to grow, it allows them to bloom. So the same way knowledge is also rain. When knowledge is showered upon our hearts, our brains, that allows the cleansing of our heart, so like the dirt and the dust that we might have inside of our heart, and allows that to get rid of. And not only that, there are also benefits of being able to grow understanding. Just like how plants grow, we are then able to grow understanding as well, and many other blessings alongside with it as well. Now, the amazing thing about knowledge and our brains is that if I get a bucket and fill it up with water, that bucket has a certain capacity, and after that the water will just overflow. But with our brains is designed in such way that we can have pretty much unlimited amounts of knowledge. And currently right now there is no scientific quantitative evidence to suggest like how much can one brain actually store. In fact, there are people like Albert Einstein, Benjamin Franklin, all famous inventors, people with such high IQ, and obviously they will have had retained a lot of information, but there is still no actually quantitative measure as to how much we can actually contain. So Shariat Chishti, I just want to ask you as well, what exactly does Islam say about knowledge?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي آمين. Assalamu alaikum viewers and listeners. So knowledge in Islam can be seen as a seed that Rabbul Alameen planted it into our earlier prophets, and since then it's bloomed across the world. So I can give you multiple examples. For example, Hazrat Adam alayhi salam, Rabbul Alameen taught him how to speak, and now today we have over 1,000 of languages, and they all derive from that one language that Rabbul Alameen sent down. Or you can go to the idea of writing. Alladhi allama bil qalam, who taught by the pen. Hazrat Idris alayhi salam was the first man to ever write with the pen. And from one prophet, 80% of the world today can read and write.
Exactly.
And another example, Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam, who constructed an ark. And from constructing an ark, now the whole world is in a transportation industry, and we can build big structures because Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam took the first step because of Rabbul Alameen, on Rabbul Alameen's command.
Yes.
And even in metal industry, Hazrat Dawood alayhi salam, Rabbul Alameen taught him the movement of how to make iron malleable. And at the time, iron is one of the strongest substances, and we use it today to make steel. So Rabbul Alameen sent down all these blessings because Iqra wa Rabbuka al-Akram, recite your Lord is the most generous. Rabbul Alameen made our life easier. He provided us with these blessings to teach us about Him, to teach us how His blessings are all spread across the world.
Exactly. So thank you very much, Shariar. So thank you very much for that.
You're welcome.
Right now, I'm going to play a very beautiful nasheed by Mahir Zain, Ramzan.
Lift me up high, you spread my wings and fly me to the sky. Love is everywhere. So much peace fills up the air. Ramadan, month of the Quran. I feel it inside me, strengthening my iman. But how I wish you'd be here with me all year around. Ramadan, 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 ya Habib. Ramadan, Ramadan, ليتك دوما قريب. I just love the way you make me feel. Every time you come around, you breathe life into my soul, and I promise that I'll try throughout the year to keep your spirit alive. In my heart it never dies. Oh, Ramadan. Ramadan, 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 ya Habib. Ramadan, Ramadan, ليتك دوما قريب. رمضان 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 يا حبيب. رمضان رمضان ليتك دوما قريب. ليتك دوما قريب.
Assalamu alaikum, viewers and listeners, welcome back. So previously we were discussing about knowledge in Islam, and just a very brief introduction that both Sharia Dar and Sharia Chishti both mentioned. So why is gaining knowledge important? So what do we get in return from gaining knowledge? Why is it actually important? Now this is just another hadith mubarakah that Hazrat Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said seeking knowledge is an obligation on every Muslim. And there we have it. So seeking knowledge is a duty that we all have, a duty that we all need to fulfill. And knowledge is greatly important, more important than wealth. Any ideas as to why knowledge is probably more important than wealth? Any ideas?
You can't achieve both without actually having knowledge on how to achieve it.
Exactly. So to achieve wealth, you need to have knowledge. Is that what you're trying to say?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is one other point as well that I haven't really thought of. The other point is that by sharing your knowledge, your knowledge doesn't decrease. But giving away your wealth decreases. By sharing knowledge, you gain lots of good deeds, and you also learn a lot more about yourself when you share that knowledge. So that's why they say teaching is the best way of learning, because by teaching you understand, you have a different mindset, and you also end up learning about yourself as well. So sharing that knowledge, there is no loss. Now, we live in a world where wealth is considered a lot more, and having knowledge shouldn't be a reason for being arrogant. In fact, having more knowledge about ourselves and the world should make us feel a lot more humble and less, not cocky in a way, but more humble. And this is just another ayat from the Quran, Surah Fatir, ayat number 28. It is only those who have knowledge among his servants that fear Allah. Now, reading is a great hobby to have, and it says that reading marks the foundation of any robust path to seek knowledge. So a person who is an avid reader is known to have quite an active brain. He's always thinking, always reflecting, contemplating, and making decisions based on rational judgments. So a person who reads a lot tends to have a very calm and concise in speech, and very knowledgeable in conversation. And a person who loves reading also harbors the love to attain knowledge, to learn of others' perspective, and is driven to form ideas and takes time to appreciate other intrinsic details as well. And from the first word of revelation of the Quran is Iqra, which means to read. So Shahryar Chishti, can you please explain a little bit more about this?
Assalamu alaikum, viewers and listeners. So the first word that was released to mankind from the glorious Quran was Iqra, read. So Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq, read in the name of your Lord who created. So we should be reading what brings us closer to Rabbil Alameen. We should be reading about the earth, about the plants, about his creations and how they're all interlocked, reading about ourselves and how we eat, our bodies, and the beauty of how they are all interlocked. And I can give you an example here.
Please do.
So we have, for example, we want to increase our brain power. We want to find something that can make our brain work a bit faster.
Yes.
And we want to eat something. We need to find what can we eat. But Rabbul Alameen leaves the answers for us on this earth for us to discover. So if you've ever seen a walnut, it's got the shape of a brain.
Of a brain, exactly.
And according to science, walnuts help your brain power a lot. So there's a link between the walnuts and the brain. This is just one example of how beautifully interlocked the whole world is because of Rabbul Alameen. So going back to that question, why is gaining knowledge important? To get closer to Rabbul Alameen, you've got to gain knowledge. You've got to go through doors to get that knowledge. Each door, it can be opened by a piece of knowledge, and then more doors can be opened by the more knowledge you gain. And
Exactly.
you keep getting the knowledge, and you keep getting closer to Rabbul Alameen because you're learning about what Rabbul Alameen has sent onto this earth.
I really like that analogy, Shahryar Chishti, but I'm really sorry to interrupt you there. We will have to go on a break within 20 seconds time, and after the break you're more than happy to continue, and I would really love you to explain a little bit more about this that you've just said. So if you've got any questions, please message us on our WhatsApp number 079 3984939.
Linking communities, thinking positive. This is your local community radio station, Sheffield's Link FM.
मैं निकला वो टैक्सी लेके और रास्ते पर एक मोड़ आया मैं उठे टैक्सी तोड़ आया मैं घर आया और बुढ़ी ने सानू बहुत रुलाया फिर मिस्टर कंपनसेटर नवी टैक्सी लेकर आया फिर मैं मुस्कुराया
अगर आप मुस्कुराना चाहते हो तो मिस्टर कॉम्पनसेटर को अपना टैक्सी क्लेम दो और अभी मिस्टर कॉम्पनसेटर जो क्लेम के बादशाह हैं अपफ्रंट रेफरल देते हैं। हाँ, आपने ठीक सुना, अपफ्रंट अपना 2000 पाउंड ले लो। कॉल करो 0114 3863 386। Terms and conditions apply.
This Ramadan, help save lives through your zakat and sadaqah. Hope rekindles the heart. It's what a believer holds on to. Many around the world remain hopeful, patiently waiting for your generosity. Bring hope to millions and trust Allah. Hold on to hope and help save lives. Visit muslimhands.org.uk today. Your charity removes calamity.
अस्सलामुअलैकुम, मैं अनीसा नासिर हूँ। रमजान मुबारक। उमूमन इस माह मुबारक में दोस्तों और रिश्तेदारों के साथ मिलकर वक्त सहर की तैयारी और वक्त इफ्तार में इकट्ठे होना, इज्तिमाई इबादत करना शामिल होता है। लेकिन इस साल माह रमजान बहुत मुख्तलिफ है। मैं और मेरी फैमिली घर में रहते हुए ही दोस्तों और रिश्तेदारों के साथ थैंक्स टू टेक्नोलॉजी इबादत भी करते हैं और राब्ते में भी हैं। आप भी घरों पे रहिए, NHS को प्रोटेक्ट कीजिए और जिंदगियाँ बचाइए।
Because of coronavirus, Ramadan will be very different for all Muslims this year. This is a time to reflect on what is happening around the world and connect to our faith. We must keep our families safe and well over the coming month. We must not visit friends or family outside our home. Instead, we need to attend prayers and iftars at home via online communal sites. Staying at home but staying connected. This Ramadan, although we will be apart, we will be together. Stay home, protect the NHS, save lives.
World Healthcare is seeking to build the first ever JCI accredited smart hospital in Azad Kashmir. Due to the impact of COVID-19 this Ramadan, it is even more important for us to reflect, repent and give to charity. We are therefore requesting you to kindly donate £30 to us this Ramadan, which works out to be £1 for every day of this blessed month, therefore enabling you to maximize the rewards available. You can do this by visiting www.dwh.global and clicking on the Just Giving link at the top.
The only wedding venue in Sheffield that offers you an all-in-one package, Maya Suite by Chandani. Here at Maya we offer an impeccable 5-star service. Our brand new venue has a vibrant contemporary environment filled with stylish spaces. We have our own private car park and garden. Minutes away from Meadowhall Shopping Centre, we at Maya guarantee to provide the best service for your occasions. To make a booking, contact our business manager on 07 960 960 840 07 960 960 840.
King's Medina Dates. Premium quality dates from Saudi Arabia. Available from leading Asian supermarkets. For more information, visit our website on www.kingsmedinadates.com.
Sheffield's Link FM.
Assalamu alaikum viewers and listeners, welcome back. So previously I was just talking about why is gaining knowledge important, and Shariar Chishti, you were also explaining as to why gaining knowledge is actually important. So sorry I interrupted before because of the break, but please continue on from where you left.
So where I left off is that knowledge is a key to opening a door.
Yes.
So you use that knowledge to open the door, and then you get more doors, which open to more knowledge. And the knowledge you already have, you use it to open the other doors, and you share this knowledge with other people so they can get through as well.
Exactly.
The reason to do this is that you become closer to Rabbul Alameen. You learn about Rabbul Alameen. You learn how much of a blessing He has on this earth and upon mankind.
Yes.
And that's when you say, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. All praise go to Rabbul Alameen, because then you realize what blessing He's had on all of us.
So, thank you very much for that, Sharia Chishti. Reeb Dar, I've just got another question for you as well. Can you also elaborate on as to why gaining knowledge is important?
Yep, of course. I just want to start off with some ahadith of the Prophet ﷺ upon knowledge. So the first one from Sahih Bukhari is talking about the best of people. So narrated by Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, Rasulullah ﷺ said, "Do not wish to be like anyone except in two cases: a person whom Allah has given wealth and he spends it righteously, the one whom Allah has given wisdom and he acts according to it and teaches it to others." So that's the first one. And the second one is about the journey of a person seeking knowledge. So this one is narrated by Hazrat Abu Darda radiyallahu ta'ala an. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, "He who follows a path in quest of knowledge, Allah will make the path of Jannah easy to him. The angels lower their wings over the seeker of knowledge, being pleased with what he does. The inhabitants of the heavens and the earth, and even the fish in the depth of the oceans, seek forgiveness for him.
Yes.
The superiority of the learned man over the devout worshipper is like that of the full moon compared to the rest of the stars, i.e. in brightness."
Yes.
So these two ahadith just given a brief, outline of the importance and the status of seeking knowledge and how important it is in Islam. Knowledge is important because it expands our sense and our awareness in our mind about everything around us, about reality. It helps us understand situations, it helps us make decisions, and also just having a basic understanding of reality. And all knowledge, whether it be religious or the worldly knowledge like science and everything, it will all lead back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala anyway. And for example of that, obviously all of religious knowledge is all on the ghaib, the unseen, which is all obviously linked to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But even scientific knowledge, when you learn about how the solar system works, or how all these systems in our body, the immune system, the nervous system, or just anything, even like the carbon cycle or the nitrogen cycle, everything, all this is all running in perfect order, these systems. And when you think upon it, like when you ponder about it, then you come to a realization that this is all working in such perfect order, it's all balanced, that surely there is some power that is controlling all of it, that started it. I mean, if not, are you going to tell me it's a coincidence that everything is working in perfect order? That doesn't really make any sense to me. But do you understand what I'm saying? Knowledge it helps you become aware of things. And also, other than that, there was knowledge.
So you were just saying that being aware, so you were just saying before that it's not just a coincidence, that you're basically trying to prove that there is a creator.
Yeah, exactly.
So just another analogy that I might have, just for those that may not understand this. So you're walking in a forest, and let's say you see a bare footprint. Obviously the whole ground is flat, and then suddenly you see a bare footprint. Obviously there was something that was there before that actually created that. So same thing here. So we see our bodily systems. Before these bodily systems were created, there was obviously something that actually made this happen, something a lot bigger. And for some, like majority of us humans, we can't really conceptualize, we can't really understand Rabbul Alameen as in depth, because our mind is so limited, and Rabbul Alameen is like beyond words. I'm unable to describe what exactly, how powerful, not even the word powerful is enough to describe what I'm trying to describe. So yes, please continue.
Yeah, also another point is knowledge is one major thing that separates us humans from animals, because animals have the basic instinct, which is you know, just to eat, sleep and reproduce. And they don't have any purpose in life, they don't have any use of knowledge or anything.
Yeah.
And if you look at a human without knowledge, that's all he's gonna do also. All he's gonna do is, you know, just eat, sleep and reproduce. But with knowledge, he has a purpose. He knows what his purpose is throughout life. As Shariar said before, it's a light. It enlightens his life. He knows where to go, what direction, and that is the importance of, you know, knowledge.
Thank you very much for that. So Shariar Dad, can you elaborate a little bit more on this as well?
And why knowledge is important.
Why knowledge is important.
So I've got 2 examples to put in perspective. Okay?
Yes.
So one, we've got, you take one person who's person A.
Yes.
And he's only restricted himself in fulfilling in his life. He's going on the deen side. He's going to learn about deen and pursue that career. Person B, he's gone into a career, and he hasn't gone on the deen side, but he's gotten one for reaching upon studying about the creation of Rabbul Alameen, yeah? So you've got 2 different persons. Then you've got person C, who's a mixture of both.
Yes.
Now, out of 3, which is more superior?
Out of
A, B and C, you've got person who's got just deen, person who's got on science and upon the creation of Rabbul Alameen, and you've got the person in the middle who's got a combination of both. And the reason because of this is a simple example to put in perspective. The person on the person A who's got just deen, and person B who's just got science, yeah?
Yes.
And you've got a person on a mountain. So these 2 people, they stand at the same place. It just differs on their perception. Perception, yeah. So these people, they stood in the middle of the mountain. They can see around them, but only half.
Yes.
They can see person A is on one half, he can see on one side.
Yes.
And person B, he can see on another side.
Yes.
And then this doesn't mean that they're both wrong, because the person who's on person A, he's seen what he's seen on his side, he's right. And the person B, he can't see that side, but he can see his own side.
Yeah.
And obviously person A, they cannot see each other's sides, but they see their own. And this, to make it easier to understand, if there's you and me standing in front of each other, and we've got a number 6 on the floor. To me it's a 6, but to you
it's a 9.
It's a 9. So similarly, we're both right. It's just how we perceive different things.
Exactly.
So a person who's just got knowledge on deen, he's restricted his view half. He can see half, but he can't see half. Similarly, with a person who's gone into the creation of Rabbul Alameen, he can see another half, a different perspective of half.
So, for example, so what about for that person who has a balance of both? What can he see?
That person who's got balance of both, he's like a person who's at the top of the mountain. If you're at the top of the mountain, because it's a cone shape,
yes.
Once you reach the top of the mountain, you can see all around.
Exactly.
And then you obviously attain more knowledge, and hence you can make decisions more appropriately than the other 2 people, because you can see everything rather than restricting yourself to half. And another thing is that if you just go into the deen side, there's negative impacts on that. One, you don't get a source of income.
Yes.
It's not, obviously that source of income is not priority. We're going to get what's written to us. But is our effort to put in effort to actually get that source of income, because we have families, we have wives, children, mothers, brothers, sisters that we have to
like in
provide
physics as
for.
well, if you don't put in energy, you're not going to get a result.
You're not going to get a result. So hence why if you just go into the deen side, that is kind of a negative point if you decide to use the deen as a source of income. Because if we look at our role models, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if we look at their side, yes, they were preaching, but at the same time they were businessmen, very successful one as well. So this should be our role model as well, that we learn knowledge on Deen side to stay connected with Rabbul Alameen and Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But also at the same time we need to study about the creation, and through this we can earn a source of income. Now to you, which one's better? If you get a source of income by teaching people that instead of taking money there, you should be doing for free anyway.
Yes.
And what we see nowadays is that people are given knowledge, but the knowledge that they've given, they're not implementing on it.
Exactly.
Before you spread knowledge, you need to implement it first.
Yes.
Then it has a bigger impact. If I was to tell you to do a certain thing, but I don't do it myself, what strength is that going to have on you? It's not going to really make a difference. It's just me wasting my breath telling you stuff. So first of all, we should make dua to Rabbul Alameen that he increases our knowledge. And second of all, we should make dua that this knowledge that we gain, that we are able to implement it. May Allah grant us the tawfiq to implement on the knowledge that we've learnt. And third of all, once we've attained that level where we can implement on it, then we can go on to pass this knowledge on to other people. And similarly, once you've got that source of income coming in as well, then you're still reaching your goal. So you're not limiting yourself that I just want a source of income, but the goal target is the pleasure of Rabbul Alameen and Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And what better example than Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who themselves done the Deen side, preaching that Deen which they were sent for, and at the same time they were businessmen from which they got their source of income.
Thank you very much for that. So thank you, Sharia and Dad, for explaining about Islam and knowledge. So I just have another question as well. We are trying to gain maximum knowledge as much as we possibly can, and because majority of us, well, all of us are under lockdown, and we want to be really using this time wisely. So rather than flicking through social media, let's actually take advantage of the internet. The internet is such an amazing library, online resource that we can use to actually gain quite useful knowledge. So Arib, I've just got a question for you as how can we actually use the internet to actually gain more knowledge? So under lockdown, let's say I'm bored at home, I want to be gaining more knowledge about, let's say, whether that's maths, Vedic maths, or let's say I want to learn more about anatomy. What can I actually do? How can I use the internet wisely to, gain more knowledge?
Well, during the lockdown, seeing as you're not doing much, you might as well put the time to use instead of just, binge watching Netflix. You can, there's this, you can look for online courses. There's this website Udemy, which I've used myself as well.
Yeah.
Thousands of courses, very reasonable prices as well. So you just find anything. I've done a course on Vedic maths.
Yeah.
It's just the interesting way of looking at maths. It just makes it more enjoyable and it's quick, simple.
Because I remember reading about it as well, that you can, they find certain shortcuts into maths and how you can multiply 2-digit numbers under 35 seconds. Not under 35, under 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So it's a really quite useful knowledge there, because obviously you might use it as whilst you're a cashier, or have you used Vedic maths?
Yeah. Obviously I work in a takeaway and I'm at the front taking all the orders, and then you have to have your mental maths game strong in it. So
yes,
using Vedic maths also comes in handy.
That's really good.
Everything on the screen there.
No, but sometimes when you need to work out the change, how much to give back when someone gives a weird £25 instead of just a normal £20 note, then you have to use your maths.
Because sometimes I remember when I was also working as a cashier, there was sometimes one person giving me a large note, so a £50 note, and so because they had a very large order on the system, it wouldn't tell me how much change
exactly
I would have. So using it then, it was quite. So I don't know Vedic mathematics as much, but you probably do a lot more. But you can see how helpful it can actually be. So any ideas what else we can use on the internet to actually gain more knowledge during this time? So what about the deen side to it?
Religious side, obviously I think quite a popular option is just excuse me, just go on YouTube, just go on the stuff like Merciful Servant. They're short videos but enjoyable, increasing your knowledge,
videos.
And you could search up lectures of certain famous scholars which you find useful and you like hearing their voice, because everyone has their personal preference.
Yes.
Also
another thing, just to elaborate on that, is vital that who we listen to is a main aspect.
Yes.
Because nowadays there's a lot of fitna and there's a lot of different sects and different groups.
Yes.
So because on the internet it's open to everyone.
Exactly.
And no matter, even if someone's famous, there's still arguments among famous people as well.
Yes.
So choosing the right people to listen to and the right websites to, that's another
So
main
we've got to be careful and where we actually obtain our knowledge from.
100%.
Yeah.
And so if you find something that you are unsure about, it's always best to discuss it amongst your friends or your family.
Parents, family.
Yeah.
So it's a really good idea to actually discuss and really elaborate on what you've learned. And once again, then you are also sharing knowledge. And by sharing knowledge, there's, like I've said before, there are lots and lots of benefits. So now I am going to play a very beautiful nasheed, Naat by Ahmed Rubani Nazara.
हंजू मुख चले अखियां दे रोह के मेरी बिगड़ी किस्मत बन जावे हंजू मुख चले अखियां दे रोह के मेरी बिगड़ी किस्मत बन जावे मैं थक गया अर्जियां करके मैं थक गया अर्जियां करके रब्बा ऐसा कोई दिन चढ़ जावे के मदीने दा नजारा हो जावे रब्बा ऐसा कोई दिन चढ़ जावे के मदीने दा नजारा हो जावे मस्जिदे नबवी ते जाके आका दे दर ते मैं हाज़री लावां रोज़े दिए जाली नू सीने नाल लाके दिल दा हाल मैं अपना सुनावां होवे करम में वेख मदीना
Assalamu alaikum viewers and listeners, welcome back. So previously we were discussing about Islam and knowledge, and in 40 seconds time after we'll be going on a break, but after the break we'll be discussing about the science aspect to gaining knowledge, what actually happens to our brain. So stay tuned, and if you've got any questions please forward them on 07939849339. This is Link FM 96.7 FM. that is 07939849339.
Sheffield's Link FM.
Whether it's for your home or your business premises, visit the Wentworth Contracts showroom on Princes Street, Rotherham to see their range of carpets and carpet tiles, wood and laminate flooring, vinyls and even artificial grass too. With landlord special offers, including carpets at just £3.50 per square metre. This family-run business supply and fit them all. And if you can't get to the showroom, Wentworth Contracts will bring samples to you. For details, call 01709 552 556 or click on wentworthcontracts.com.
At Cushion House, we deliver German quality at affordable prices. It's what we pride ourselves on. Have you been quoted by Wren, Wix, B&Q or any other kitchen outlet? At Cushion House Sheffield, we're confident that we won't be beaten on quality or price. With our range of bespoke German-engineered kitchens, direct from our factory in Germany, which is why we believe we'll beat any like-for-like quote. Visit the showroom on Attercliffe Road, click on cushionhouse.co.uk or call 0114 256 0888.
Hello, I'm Giles Brandreth. During the month of May, I'll be hosting Caring for Carers, a series of features where we hear very personal stories from carers and those they care for right across the UK.
It is vital, especially in this day that we're living in now, that carers reach out and talk and connect with people.
Caring for Carers can be heard right here throughout the month of May. There's also more information, including local contact details for carers, at our website, caringforcarers.net.
For now, we must all still stay at home. It can be hard, but it's making a difference. So please keep going. For the ones you love, keep going. For every key worker on the front line, as they keep going for us. Keep going, because together we will beat the virus. To all of you making sacrifices every day, thank you. We are apart for now, but we will be together again. Stay home, protect the NHS, save lives.
Ramadan's blessed days are the perfect opportunity to reach out to suffering families in the Ummah with our charity. You can do so by donating to one of Ummah Welfare Trust's many projects which are helping our brothers and sisters in Africa, Asia and the Middle East. In these difficult days, charity is one of the best ways to earn Allah's pleasure and protection. To give yours, call 0800 4 0800 11 or visit uwt.org.
King's Medina Dates. Premium quality dates from Saudi Arabia, available from leading Asian supermarkets. For more information, visit our website on www.kingsmedinadates.com.
मैं निकला वो टैक्सी लेके और रास्ते पर एक मोड़ आया मैं उठे टैक्सी तोड़ आया मैं घर आया और बुढ़ी ने सानू बहुत रुलाया फिर मिस्टर कंपनसेटर नवी टैक्सी लेकर आया फिर मैं मुस्कुराया
अगर आप मुस्कुराना चाहते हो तो मिस्टर कॉम्पनसेटर को अपना टैक्सी क्लेम दो और अभी मिस्टर कॉम्पनसेटर जो क्लेम के बादशाह हैं अपफ्रंट रेफरल देते हैं। हाँ, आपने ठीक सुना, अपफ्रंट अपना 2000 पाउंड ले लो। कॉल करो 0114-3863-386. Terms and conditions apply.
Sheffield's very own community radio station.
Link FM.
Assalamu alaikum viewers and listeners, welcome back. So today the second half of the show, we will be discussing about what actually happens to our brain when we gain knowledge and when we learn something new. So just before we actually start, I would just like to play a qawwali by Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan, Kamli Wali Muhammad.
कर दे तेनू तेरी रहीमी दा वास्ताई मेरे मौला तू मेरे ते रहम कर दे तेनू तेरी रहीमी दा वास्ताई तक ऐब मेरे उत्ते पाई पर्दा तेनू तेरी करीमी दा वास्ता जी जिस दे सदके थी सानू तू बख्शना है उस नूरे कदीमी दा वास्ता जी दिन महशर ना बरी दी पुछ होवे मुस्तफा दी यतीमी दा वास्ता जी जिस दिया अखियां चों ओदी याद अंदर वगदा दिने राती नीर होवे ओनू किधरे गरीब ना आख बैना ओदे जेठ ना कोई अमीर होवे ओदे दर्द गदावां दी की दस्सां करके नजर इको दुनिया बदल दिंदे ओ नहीं मंगदा तख्त ते ताज बरी जो मुहम्मद दे दर्दा फकीर होवे फकीर होवे कमली वाले मुहम्मद तो सदके मैं जा कमली वाले मुहम्मद तो सदके मैं जा कमली वाले मुहम्मद तो सदके मैं जा जेने आके गरीबां दी बां फड़ लई मैं सदके जा मैं सदके जा मैं सदके जा सदके जा मैं सदके जा मैं सदके जा मैं कमली वाले मुहम्मद तो सदके मैं जा जेने आके गरीबां दी बां फड़ ले वसीला मुहम्मद दा नाम मेरी बख्शिश वसीला मुहम्मद दा नाम जेने आके गरीबां दी बां फड़ लई मेरी बख्शिश गरीबां दी बाह फड़ लई मेरी बख्शिश वसीला मुहम्मद दा नाम मेरी बख्शिश वसीला मुहम्मद दा नाम जिने आपे गरीबां दी बाह फड़ लई मेरी बख्शिश वसीला मुहम्मद दा नाम जिने आपे गरीबां दी बाह फड़ लई ए ओदे बाजो कोई दुनिया ते प्यारा नहीं ओदे बाजो कोई दुनिया ते प्यारा नहीं ओदे वर्गा कोई जग ते सहारा नहीं ओदे वर्गा कोई जग ते सहारा नहीं ओदे बाजो कोई दुनिया ते प्यारा नहीं ओदे वर्गा कोई जग ते सहारा नहीं जे ना हुंदे मुहम्मद ना हुंदा जहां जे ना हुंदे मुहम्मद ना हुंदा जहां जिने आपे गरीबां दी बाह फड़ लई जे ना हुंदे मुहम्मद ना हुंदा जहां जिने आपे गरीबां दी बाह फड़ लई जे ना हुंदे मुहम्मद ना हुंदा जहां जिने आपे गरीबां दी बाह फड़ लई जे ना जे ना हुंदे मुहम्मद ना हुंदा जहां जिने आके गरीबां दी बाह फड़ लई ए दसो गारा च रोया ते कहना लई दसो गारा च रोया ते कहना लई दसो गारा च रोया ते कहना लई दसो गारा च रोया ते कमली दी छां क्यों नहीं मंगदे तुसी काली कमली दी छां जिने आपे गरीबां दी बाह फड़ लई क्यों नहीं मंगदे तुसी काली कमली दी छां जिने आपे गरीबां दी बाह फड़ लई क्यों नहीं मंगदे तुसी काली कमली दी छां जिने आपे गरीबां दी बाह फड़ लई हबशी तो हजरत बिलाल होया आए दर ते सवाली नु कीती नहीं ना आए दर ते सवाली नु कीती नहीं ना जिने आपे गरीबां दी बाह फड़ लई आए दर ते सवाली नु कीती नहीं ना जिने आपे गरीबां दी बाह फड़ लई आए दर ते सवाली नु कीती नहीं ना जिने आपे गरीबां दी बाह फड़ लई सूरज अगावल पिछा मोड़िया कलमा कलमा सोने मुहम्मद दा पढ़ जा बुता कलमा सोने मुहम्मद दा पढ़ जा बुता जिने आके गरीबां दी बाह फड़ लई कलमा सोने मुहम्मद दा पढ़ जा बुता जिने आके गरीबां दी बाह फड़ लई कलमा सोने मुहम्मद दा पढ़ जा बुता जिने आके गरीबां दी बाह फड़ लई कलमा सोने मुहम्मद दा पढ़ जा बुता जिने आके गरीबां दी बाह फड़ लई ए वैरी पत्थर भी मारन ते हसदे रहे वैरी पत्थर भी मारन ते हसदे रहे वैरी पत्थर भी मारन ते हसदे सब नू दसदे रहे फिर भी राहे खुदा सब नू दसदे रहे फिर भी राहे खुदा सब नू दसदे रहे फिर भी राहे खुदा सब नू दसदे फिर भी राहे खुदा सब नू दसदे रहे फिर भी राहे खुदा ओह सब नू दसदे रहे फिर भी राहे खुदा फिर भी राहे खुदा सब नू दसदे रहे ए वैरी पत्थर भी मारन फिर भी राहे खुदा सब नू दसदे रहे बड़ी सिफतां च भर जाए सारा कुरान बड़ी सिफतां च भर जाए सारा कुरान जिने आके गरीबां दी बाह फड़ लई बड़ी सिफतां च भर जाए सारा कुरान जिने आके गरीबां कमली वाले मुहम्मद तो सदके न जा जिने आके गरीबां दी बाह फड़ लई
Welcome back, viewers and listeners. So today on the second half of the show, we will be discussing about what happens to our brain when we gain knowledge, when we learn something new. So just a bit of research I did, that every time we learn something new, in our brains we get these new connections, these what you might want to call wiring, but it's actually neurons. And basically when we learn something new, these neurons, these connections become a lot stronger. And what experts call this idea of forming new neurons, new connections, new wirings inside your head is called plasticity. So we can say that the brain is plastic, not literally plastic, but in terms of how it can change and in its structure and form new connections. So Sharia Chishti, I would just like to ask you, can you tell us a little bit more about what happens to our brains when we gain knowledge and when we learn something new?
Assalamu alaikum, viewers and listeners. So we have multiple things happening in our brain when we either gain new knowledge, we revisit old concepts, or we forget knowledge. So let's begin with gaining new knowledge. When we gain new knowledge, we have neurons, which are nerve cells in our brain, and they bind together. And when they bind, they form a memory. And they will go to our short-term memory, which will stay for a short amount of time. Yes. And then when we sleep, they'll repair and move to our long-term memory. So when we forget something, the bonds between those neurons, they become weaker and weaker and eventually we forget them. So when we revisit an old concept, we sometimes struggle to understand what's happening because we haven't revisited the topic in a long time. So there's an idea that the more you sleep, the better memory you have, and that is actually true. And the reason for that is because it gives you time for your body to repair, and all the information you withhold from the short-term memory will be transferred into the long-term memory.
So you're saying that sleep is very important?
It's very important. Those who have deprivation of sleep, they tend to experience memory loss earlier and more frequently.
So what advice are you suggesting for like those who are currently revising and working very hard during exam season, that you should actually have a lot of rest? So for those students out there that might be doing all-nighters, spending all night revising, so your advice is that you shouldn't be doing all-nighters and should have maximum sleep, and even during the day, so having sort of a study nap. Is that what you're saying?
It's more practical to have more sleep. It doesn't have to be a study nap. It can be how you can have a long sleep from night up till the morning. But then you can study a lot more consistently, and you can withhold a lot more information. So that means you can work for a lot longer.
Yes. Also, I would just like to add that this study nap, this midday nap that we have, this sleep. So just a question to both Areeb and Shahryar Dad, like, what time is best to have a sleep during the day?
This is best around Zohr time, and I'm not sure if it's Arabic or in the Urdu where it's called Kailula, which Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam also used to do as well. And any action they used to do, whether we know the hikmah behind it or not, and everything they did was for a reason, so we should try our best to follow in their footsteps, whether we know why or not. Our role model is clear, and we should try our best to implement.
So this nap that we have, this sleep that we have, is very good for rejuvenation of energy, this memory enhancement, and the relaxation of the mind. So Shahryar Chishti, please continue with what you were saying.
Actually, with the time we're in now, to sleep a lot longer, it means build our immune system to become stronger, and our body repairs a lot more.
Okay.
So sleeping, it's not laziness, it's the forming of repair.
Yes. So yes, thank you very much for that, Shahryar. That's quite interesting. So just like Areeb, can you tell me, so this is another question that I have, that whilst we're at school, I'm trying to absorb maximum knowledge. I want to absorb maximum knowledge. What could I do, to possibly help my brain to gain maximum knowledge?
So this is, I would suggest, I know it's difficult right now because we're fasting, but a key thing to remember is staying hydrated. It's very, very important, because your concentration levels are at its peak when your brain is fully hydrated, because when your brain is fully hydrated, then the exchange in nutrients and toxins is working most efficiently. Therefore, it results to better concentration, and you're more alert to everything. So you're taking in more information as well, and it's actually staying in, like, it's not just coming in one ear and then going out the other. So that is one thing. Obviously, that's a tip you can use throughout the whole year. When it's Ramadan, you should be trying to gain as many fluids as you can anyway, from iftar to suhoor anyway. Other than that, another way to help revising, learning things in chunks, not a whole paragraph. That's not good for you. Is going to come, because
your mind will slowly begin to deviate. Even in psychology, for those who studied psychology will know about this method of chunking, so breaking down your information, which is, let me give you an example. So for example, if on the radio I'm shouting out a WhatsApp number, I won't be shouting 07939849339. I would actually break it up into chunks. That allows the mind to really pick up the different pieces of information a lot more easily, and it just allows that flow of information to remain in your head. So I'll be going something like 07939, having a break, so that's one chunk of information, 849339. So that beat that I have, so that I've really broken down the pieces of information into chunks, and that way we can really obtain maximum information. So the same way with actually revising at home as well, you really want to, like Areeb said, to really break it down into chunks as well. So have you got any other, like, you know, tips, ideas that people can implement? So you talked about chunking, so did you apply that at all? So
yeah, of course. You know, just going through the textbook and reading it like that, that's not very helpful at all. So exactly, just, you know, the information there, writing in your own notes in chunks, highlighting them in different colors, that way it stays in your mind much better.
Yeah, so there are many ways as well in which we can learn faster and gain a lot more knowledge as well. So one way is, usually when we're learning because we want to shove the information into our brains. But rather than just opening up the book and just trying to memorize word for word, what's better is, another way to go about it is teaching. So prepare your teaching. So you know that you'll be put under pressure. You really want to give the student a good amount of knowledge and not any incorrect information. And with that thought of mind, your brain will be less fatigued, less lazy, and know it has a duty, a concern of giving that knowledge. Just like Islam says, like we said before, that sharing knowledge will provide us with a lot of good deeds as well. And another quote that is quite commonly said is, teaching is the best way of learning. So by teaching, you're able to understand more about yourself, how you learn yourself, and about any gaps in your knowledge. Because when you're trying to teach something, your students might ask you questions that you may not know of. So in that case, you will know that there are certain gaps in your knowledge, and you can try and, from teaching, you've really absorbed a lot more knowledge about yourself and the content that you are actually teaching. And just like Areeb also said about learning in short bursts of time, so really chunking it down. So like another university in America did a research where that if you learn materials in 30 to 50 minutes, that's a lot better than doing a 2-hour block. And the other important thing is emphasis on breaks. Having breaks is incredibly important. So now we've come to the end of our today's show, and before I let you all go, I pray that Rabbul Alameen, the Al-Hafid, the Preserver, the All-Heedful and All-Protecting, protects us during these unprecedented times, and that for those who may be in hospital or working on the front line with patients suffering from either the coronavirus or any other illnesses, we pray that we all come out of this phase safely alongside our loved ones. Ameen. So join us next time, same place, same frequencies. I've been your presenter, Shmail Chishti, and thank you for listening.
The voice of the communities. 96.7 Link FM. Link FM.
मैं निकला वो टैक्सी लेके और रास्ते पर एक मोड़ आया मैं उठे टैक्सी तोड़ आया मैं घर आया और बुढ़ी ने सानू बहुत रुलाया फिर मिस्टर कंपनसेटर नवी टैक्सी लेकर आया